let's see. Stream health, it looks yellow. I wonder if my settings, if I change my settings. I think we're still in 1080p. Might want to drop to 720p at some point. We'll see how this stream goes. Let's see here. Is it live on Twitch? It's live on Twitch. Okay. Let's go ahead and copy paste some links here. Let's go to self promo. And drop a link here. Bang. And also our live dashboard. Let's do this. There's our link. There's our link. Bam. Okay. Okay, everything else should be set up. I'm gonna get started now. Don't know if anybody has popped in yet. One person. Guess that's good enough. Let's bring OBS up here. Alright, we're live. How's it going, everybody? I'm Drifty from Driftwood Gaming. Welcome to the live stream. We're going to be updating the Legend of Driftwood from version 1.3 to 1.62 to bring it up to date with the current version of RPG Maker MV. I've already started doing this over the last few months off camera, but since I've managed to finagle a couple hours a day, I might be able to do a steady schedule from 2 to 4 Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. I'm going to do my best to keep this schedule. We'll see. I do have doctor's appointments coming up. I have, I have a 3-month-old, so that's definitely keeping me really busy. I expect some interruptions at some point, but luckily T is taking care of the baby right now. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the Legend of Driftwood. I could spam you with the changelog with all the things that I've done over the last couple months, but I think it'll just be better for you to kind of see what I've been doing, and then maybe from time to time I'll mention updates that I've made. Yeah, let's go ahead and start a new game. This is typically how I've been updating the project. I've been test playing it very, very often, and as I'm playing it, I see things that I want to fix, I want to change, and I'll either minimize and do it right then and there, which is something we might do, or I'll make a note of it. I have a little notepad that I write it down. Sometimes I use a text editor to do it. I find that writing stuff down helps me remember it more, so I've been doing the whole writing stuff down with pen and paper here. So sometimes I do that. Anyway. Good. See to that everything goes to plan. Yes, sir. The beginning of the opening scene, I've adjusted the move route. Probably noticed right off the bat that the sprite sizes are different. They're not final yet, but I've made them stretched out so they're slightly less chibi. Camly Comics, how you doing? Let's make sure I have let me pop this out. I forgot to pop this chat out for... Pop out the chat. Yo, yeah, there's definitely some people talking here on the YouTube chat. How's it going, guys? Who did I miss? What's going on? Charzanico, are you back or is it a ghost? I'm not dead. I'm alive. Guilty Slug, Drifty says, Drifty, good to see you back. Corey, hey, how you doing? Mushri, it's about time. I know. I'm working on it. I've got a lot on my plate, man. Royal Crown Code, hey, what's up, Royal? How you doing? Stress.impress, you're back. That's great. Yeah, I'm going to try my best to do 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 3 months already? Feels like yesterday. I think I posted a couple videos within the 3 months, but basically it was 3 months of dealing with doctors and baby and whatnot. Royal Crown Code. I've been liking posts and a like. Not really anything to say. Yep. Tails, how you doing? Guilty Slug. Tall sprites. You like the tall sprites? Yeah, I've stretched out all the sprites, so even going forward, they're all going to be stretched out, less chibi. Mushri says, now all we need is Doc Weeze and the whole team's back. Well, there's still some people that I'd like to see pop in. That generally seems very big-headed. The chibi sprites, says Charles Nico. Drift Guy, hey, what's up? Camerol, that's K Zaman. Tails says she likes the resized sprites, thank you. Yeah, okay. Sorry for the little delay there. We'll get back into the game. I've gone through this dialogue several times. I'll read some of it, but I mean, it's the same thing as you would see. I've got several videos of me playing this game. We're going to be going through this dialogue a lot, probably, as we're updating it, so, yeah. This game is available free to download, but it's a very old version. I would recommend you wait. Just let me push this next update. Pretty soon I'm going to be pushing an update. The description is quite wrong. Thank you, Mushri. I will update that. That's right. How's it going? Today I'll be, and then let me erase all this stuff and backspace this. I'll be working on updating the legend of Driftwood from V1.3 to V1.62, adding several new updates and changes to the free-to-play game I released a couple of years ago. I hope you enjoy, blah 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 blah. Thanks for watching. Don't forget the comma. The magic of being live. Okay, that'll do. Thank you, Mushri, for that. Let me make sure I have my chat up and I can see what you guys are doing. Okay. Oh, I also need my... don't want to forget about the Twitch chat. Okay, now I got both my chats up. Let me resize so I can see them at the same time. Cool, cool, cool. Nice to see you streaming again. Hope you're doing well. I'm gonna go back to lurking. Awesome, cool. Thanks for stopping in. And Akuma, hello. How you doing? Okay, so taller sprites now. Lots of skills have been changed. A lot of skills are given at an earlier level now because I made a lot of skills that you would beat the game and you wouldn't even get to that level. Several updates to the lighting in the engine. I don't know if you noticed, but the lighting has been updated. I've had to this is originally a version 1.1 project, and then I updated it to 1.3 like a year ago, and then so updating this project to 1.62 of MV's engine was a really hard thing to do. It was such a headache. Oh yeah, I have a hotkey to optimize, which I think was already in there. If I press the tilde key, it will automatically optimize. I got rid of some text spam in certain areas and gradually put it out through the rest of the game. Tiana, get back in the house, back your things, we gotta go. Updated some of the typos. Alright. Adjusted difficulty on all the battles. Rebalanced completely, pretty much. Let me know if the volume's not quite right or if there's something off. It's been a little while since I've done a live stream, so I'm expecting a few little things, but I'll do my best. Oh, there's my baby.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, T shows up. And a 3-month-old Lily shows up. She's probably getting hungry now. Apologize for any baby noises that bother anybody. Blue Wind is a new skill that was created. Yeah, we're gonna have baby go in the other room if she's getting fussy. those battlers are just resized or edited. Well, resizing them, I had to edit them, obviously. How you doing, Christian Micah? And your Scram? Hope you're doing good. Can't stay for long, but good to see you streaming. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. I like to see some of the names that I'm familiar with. It makes you feel good. So here I've got rid of some of the text. It's still showing the player with, they can change the music with this button, open your items quickly with this button, and open different menus with this. But I've also added an item so that the player can re-access that information. Because before, it would spam you with all of the text. There's actually more that it shows that you can do. But you actually have to go into the book to see the extra stuff that it can do. You can... Oh yeah, this was a cool thing. One of the problems I had with this was the mining system. It was annoying to have to go into the menu and change your weapons to pickaxes. I've kind of revamped the whole mining system. There's new pickaxes. There's a auto hotkey to press M, and it will equip your weapons of all your party members with the best pickaxes that you have. I've added new pickaxes and added new skills. You can roll the D100, and there's several other commands that will be revealed throughout the game. Let's go around and collect some loot. I like the lighting change. I'm glad I've adjusted the lighting. Getting the Turax lighting working just right and finding the right colors and the right darkness and the right brightness it's been a challenge. And I still have, you know, some sample maps that are edited in here. This is a free-to-play game, and I felt like I had to update this because so much has changed. Here's a little update. There's a slum key now. You can get a few more things at the beginning of the game if you notice that. And Studio Blue and so many other people helped to pay for going to New York City and getting treatment and all that. That I felt like I had to put some time in. Hey, Skyforger. We're going to use that key, and it breaks, but we get into this house. This house was made before, but it was never accessible in a previous version of the game. Now it is accessible with some extra loot in here, just a few extra starting supplies if you're going to run around and check for stuff. As I was saying, I had so much support that I wanted to take a break from Natural Explorers and the game that I'm planning to charge for, and work on this free-to-play game that I've been working on off and on for several years, and really update it with some good quality of life changes and some good updates that bring it up to speed with the new version of the engine and make it look a little bit better, a little bit more customized. And let me auto-optimize my gear real quick. Oh, it's changing the song. That was the wrong button. Was it this one? There we go. Let's get this power fungus. I've made this boss fight a little bit harder. I'm going to save it real quick because we're about to fight. I'm obviously going to have to rebalance a lot of things still. I've gone through and tweaked the numbers on most of the enemies. This track is a little loud, I think. Maybe I should go in and change it. Anyway, we got a new skill, Charged Soul, and I can spend physical energy to recover magical energy. So you spend 100 LP to get MP back. Third Eye, another new skill. It allows you to predict an attack. It costs 50 of your MP. So I'm using Yanfly's AI core for this fight. Also made some new animations, of course, for all this stuff. Blue Wind, another new skill. Will you change the system to Octopath? No, I'm using Octopath Traveler and Natural Explorers, and I want to keep them separate. This is an older game. Yeah. So the strategy behind this fight was to just bum rush the general, but now you can get away with killing one of the guys. That's the new strategy, you kill one of them. Before, if you killed one of the guys, he would just summon another one back. Now if you kill both of the guys, he still summons one back, or he still summons both of them back, up to a maximum of 3 or 4 times. But now, if you kill one of his henchmen, he'll ignore that, and he won't summon another one back unless you kill both of them. So it makes sense to kill one of them to lower the incoming DPS, and then you bum rush the general. You can still bum rush the general, but I made the general a lot more tankier, so that Bushido damage doesn't just instantly kill him in like 2 or 3 hits. Is it possible to make overlay on characters? Well, yeah, with JavaScript, it's pretty much everything is possible. Almost everything. I'm not exactly sure what you're asking, though. To put an overlay, like a graphic over the characters, yeah, you can do that. You also got glasses, Moontree? Yeah, I got some glasses too. I bought some aviators a while ago because, you know, the surgery. I had 2 surgeries on my left eye, and it looked a little weird for a while. So, also the light was. I was very sensitive to light. It's getting better now. So I bought some aviators to cover it up and make it darker, as well as I have some blue light glasses that I wear regularly, especially while I'm doing anything like cooking, just to protect, you know, my vision. I'm half blind in my left eye now, but I still have that eye there. It's still it doesn't look that bad anymore, so that's good. You can restore MP. Let's I'll show that off when it's actually needed. I keep wanting to use it, but I'm like, I don't need to use it yet. So this is an optional battle fight. But if you do decide to fight the general and beat him early on, you get a pretty good weapon for Tiana, as well as the chance to find a lot of extra stuff. We're using Yanfly's conditional loot to have like the possibility of like up to 12 things dropping, but usually you'll get 2 or 3 or 4, which is kind of the way it should be. You've fallen into the K-pop hole? Yeah, I saw that on the Discord. Links in the description, by the way, if anybody wants to join the Discord. You had the urge to share your profile pic, which is now what's their name? Blackpink. Ah, I keep hitting the wrong one. We don't need to kill the second mercenary. In fact, if we do kill the second mercenary, he'll summon more henchmen. I'm gonna do it just to show you. You're definitely not getting out for a long time? Yeah, you say that now. I'm gonna kill the second henchman just to show you the AI. It will force him to... Here's Blue Wind. Yeah, there we go. 44 MP. And that gets better over time. Before, the player could really kind of bone themselves early on. Call henchman, immediately, boom, he calls back another henchman. So it makes sense to kill one of them and then fight, and then try to rush down the boss. Bam. Okay. The player could kind of screw themselves if they just kind of, I guess, play terribly. I mean, you still have to kill the henchman afterwards, but... So now I made a skill that will let Tiana restore her MP, so the player will never be like stuck in an unbeatable situation. They can get TP, which that'll convert to MP, and then MP can restore HP, and it's like a big cycle. The player won't really get messed up at all. but at the same time, I made the enemies hit a little bit harder, have a little bit more defense, and so you can still die. You won't die because you ran out of MP. So we got the heavy mace. We didn't get any of the really good drops, but that's fine. They're not supposed to be common drops. They're just rare. I updated this movement scene to make it a little bit faster, also to have more things animate at the same time, so we got some parallels happening here. Updated the text to show colors where they need to be to have just a little bit more flavor, polish. So this happens quicker. The Uriks move up, and if you're like spamming, you'll notice that. Periodically, I'm reminding the player to check the new key item to see what they can do with hotkeys. You can open your items and your skills and status. You can optimize and do all kinds of other stuff. So let's go ahead and press equals so that the cape I just got is automatically equipped in the best place it should be. And it will optimize from the first party member to the last party member. So if you wanted to optimize one of your other characters, you can change your formation and say put Tiana in front, and it will optimize to Tiana first. You can save anywhere in this game, which you should probably save often. There are some more challenging parts, but I've eliminated a lot of the things that kind of can instant kill you, like stun locking you and paralyze locking you. So that doesn't happen quite as often. I'm still using an ancient plugin from HimeWorks, the toggleable states plugin, which I thought wasn't going to work at first, but I managed to move things around so that it still works, and that's great. So I can have the offensive, what is it called? Offensive stance. You can turn it on and turn it off at will. Akuma asks, am I still doing Patreon? Yep, I've been blessed by the community. They've been awesome with me, even though I haven't done much. I've only put up like 2 or 3 videos in the last 3 months. Most people have been backing me still. I've had a few people drop off as you'd expect, but I was surprised to see as much support as I kept over this time. So yeah, a link to the Patreon is there if you're interested. I did make it known that I wasn't quitting. I was taking a break for reasons. So yeah. These junk piles are random loot. You can get all kinds of different stuff from them. I think there's only 12 or 14 or 18 or 20 or something like that. I keep adding more to what you can get randomly. I tried to make these fights faster too, and a little bit. I want the boss fights to be harder than they were, and I wanted the trash mobs to be easier than they were. So I went through rebalancing everything. That's funny. Mushri said, I need a therapist, but for some reason, YouTube held the comment like it was offensive or something. I don't know. Obviously, he's joking about his K-pop obsession. I keep going into the menu, but I've tried to eliminate the need to go into the menu as much as possible. So there's less actual like opening up the menu and cycling through items. You can just automatically equip new stuff you find by pressing a button. Yeah, maybe it could have been that. Let's see. You guys are getting pretty beat up here. There we go. We'll just heal outside of combat. I've changed the default TP modes of all the party members to be the most optimal. Just to start them with the one that they actually should be using. Like for example, when you start with Tiana, her TP mode is set to a healer, so that as she heals, which is what she's going to be doing the most of, she'll be gaining TP. In this game, TP is LP, if you're wondering. I made Anti-Venom an instant cast with a cooldown, so that you can cure the poison without consuming the turn. So if you need to heal and you're poison, which is usually the case, you can cure poison and then heal. But if you get poison immediately again, then you're gonna suffer a few rounds of poison. So let's use our TP to heal up. First aid takes your LP TP, but it doesn't work as strong as the Lifestream heal does, which takes MP. But now we also have Blue Wind, which is it takes 100 LP to restore MP. So there's multiple methods to keep your characters alive. As you gain job points, you can use those job points to enhance your stats. I'm going to put some extra MP on our healer. It makes sense to do that early on. And for Driftwood, I will add some extra HP. We'll do a safety save. I've increased the power of the passives as well. So I believe I had T. I asked T if she would help me make some maps. She's really good at mapping, and I am less good at mapping.
I didn't finish all of them though.
Well, she did do one.
I did one.
You did one. That was good. And so, because this gives you this map, the sewer map, can go to the left or to the north, to the west or to the north. Like they're two different maps, but they are essentially the same thing. They both lead to the boss, which takes them out, and then it goes to Arturus' scene. I think I blocked the left one because it's still an older map, so I made it so that you can't go that way yet, because we plan to remake that map as well. But T updated. I'm gonna check though. Did we do that? Nope. It still goes to this older map, which we're gonna update this map. So I'm not even gonna go here yet. I'm gonna go to the north side to show the new map, which looks a lot better. I've updated most of the maps.
I'll do the other two.
I know. Good means God in Norwegian? Did not know that. How you doing, No Loot Studios? It's good to see you, man. Yeah, I'm doing great, No Loot. Thank you. So we'll take the north exit here and check out the new map. So this has been redesigned. It's essentially we took the same map and then fixed a few perspective issues really bad perspective issues that I had going on. This is a fight that I can die on. I don't think I'm going to die on it, but it's possible to die. It's another optional fight, but you get an accessory if you reach your hand into this hole. A pack of rats will attack you. But let's go ahead and let's do this. Start with a buff here. And I'm going to have her guard, actually. She's likely to be a target. Yep, and she is. You say some weird stuff, Mushri. Is the chat coming through on my live stream?
Yes. Yeah, I see Mushri's.
On the video?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about like on this, not that. Like, I don't know if my plugins or things. You're actually not up to date. You'll have to mute that, right? Or use your
My volume's down.
Okay, yeah, because I don't want it to echo.
Right.
Is the music too loud, I wonder? I can drop that down a little bit.
Are you still on Patreon a Twitch comment, or?
Let me just lower the desktop audio a hair. Alright. What's that?
I see different comments on your screen. Is that from Twitch?
Yeah. Okay, so they are showing up. Okay,
yeah.
good. That's what I was making sure. It's been a while since I did a live stream. It's been like 3 months.
Stone Skin says the music is just right.
Good. I dropped it down just a little bit because I thought it was a little bit loud. Especially the battle music. The boss music's even worse. I added a new area. I should have done a poison cure right here, but that's fine. I added a new area, and the storyline goes farther than it did before. So I'm pushing the storyline into fighting the dragon and beating the dragon is not the end of the game anymore. Wow, she is looking pretty beat up. Let's give her a potion. And have her do anti-venom, which should still be working. Instant, should still be Tiana's turn, and it is. Okay. And then we'll patch her with the first aid. Cool. So it's still working. Drifty, have you ever created a guild system? A guild system. I did something like that, way back when I did like a game called Legacy in VX Ace, and it was basically just a party join system. So you can swap out your party members. You had lots of party members, and you can swap them out. And I just called it like a guild party system, but I don't know how. I don't know exactly what you're referring to, like, or like what you think of when you say guild system. I actually did increase the encounter rate, and it feels a little bit grindy right now. I might drop it back down just a hair. I think it's because I just got out of a big fight. But I felt like I was able to just fly across all of the maps, and sometimes not even get a single encounter, and the maps aren't super huge. I do like to make bigger maps with a lower encounter rate, but it's hard to do that because they feel too open, you know, without... It's harder to make bigger maps, for sure. So we had the stairs there, and then this waterfall. It makes the perspective look better. Before, you would just, like, walk up here, and it was really weird. I don't know what I was thinking when I made it, and I just never, like, took another step back and looked at it. But looking at it now with the Tarax lighting and the updated map with the staircases and the perception change, the perspective change, it gives it looks a lot better, and I'm kind of really, really happy with the changes. I'm interested to see this game being speedrun. I would like to see somebody speedrun this game in this newest version. It's not out yet, so it'll take a little bit more. I'm playing through to just double check, find bugs, anything that's not quite balanced. And this is what I've been doing for the past few months. These skills are available quicker now. That skill was actually from Yanfly's tips and tricks at one point. Quick strike. Alright, let's spend our points, our JP real quick. Let's go with some speed and HP. And we'll go with HP and MP here. Let's get a quick heal. Yeah, and then a safety save. I don't think we're going to die to this boss, but I did make the bosses harder and the trash mobs a little bit easier. Threw down some extra treasures and redid the lighting, updated some maps, resized things, enemies and player sprites, so all the player sprites are stretched out. All of the enemies are slightly smaller, actually. Let's get a buff at the start here. Oh, we missed it. That's fine. I'm gonna have her guard first. Let's try this again. Get him. Okay, now we got our buff. We'll use our instant cure poison. But it's timed, so if we get poisoned again, we'll have to take a few rounds of being poisoned. And we'll do a regen. Oh, I also adjusted the TP game. In a lot of the boss fights, you were unable to get TP because you're just not doing enough damage in certain modes. So I changed some of the modes. I adjusted. Overall, it's a net game for TP, LP. I think it's better to just give the player the ability to use more of their moves. You shouldn't have to resort to your basic attack that often. That was a mean steal. ZL says, Zeal Entertainment, last time I made a video of this game I feel a little bad because I think I was a bit too overcritical and a bit nitpicky. It's alright. I mean, I think I've lost my mind on a couple of my reviews before. I've actually privated some videos where I'm just like, gosh, I was so mean in this video. Because, like, it just, certain things wore me down in my patience. And it could have been something else that was bothering me that day. And the game, like, just triggered it, you know, and caused me to go crazy on it. So, like, I totally get it, ZL, and I'm not worried about it. I did watch your video. I pretty much watch anybody's video that when they're playing my game that I know about. If I know that you're going to be playing my game, I'll probably watch it. Let's use a fish to get some quick LP. Doc Wheeze, what's up, dude? It's good to see you, man. Simpro Studio. I like seeing all these names. Tiana did get cursed, so that means her stats are definitely lower for quite a while. Makes her take a ton of damage and have lower max stats.
Remember the dragon squirrel game thing? I thought some of your computer components might end up damaged that day.
The dragon
the
squirrel?
Squirrel game?
Oh yeah, yeah, I do. The one where you had to like time your character and there was like a puzzle of the squirrels in the tree.
I was surprised you tried so long.
That game was actually cool. The problem was they weren't quite balanced exactly right, and it wasn't just my cup. It wasn't really like my type of game, you know.
Yeah.
That was the problem with that. Some people like that stuff, and I totally get it. I didn't private that one. That one's still up. Yeah, because
you kept your cool.
Yeah, like I think that was a pretty good video actually.
I thought you might throw the computer out the
some
window.
People, some people really liked it. I don't know why. I don't like it when I get angry at the game or go insane.
Yeah.
But some people do like that type of content, like to see people just play a bad game and rage at it.
There's an appeal to it.
There's an audience for it.
Everybody feels that way about a game at least once.
What's that?
It's relatable because everybody feels that way about a game at least once.
Everyone's got a game that they've raged at before.
Yeah.
If they're a gamer, they... Ooh, that was a nice crit. And I took down the boss.
Got him.
Felipe, Bernardo, thank you so much. Oh, are my pop-ups happening when I accept them?
I wasn't looking at the screen. I don't know how long it's supposed to stay up there.
Did it pop up at all?
I don't know.
He subbed, Felipe Bernardo subbed 2 minutes ago, but I have to click accept because some people have trolled me. They're like, have like weird names.
Lewd names.
Yeah, lewd names, and then they sub, unsub, and I'm like, alright, I have to manually curate it, which is annoying. And some people just turn it off, but I'm like, when people donate or like they sub or subscribe, I like to see it pop up so that everyone can see it.
Yeah.
But at least give them some credit for it, you know, but you do have to manually curate, because we did get a couple of drops. This helmet is like 5%, I think. This is a 10%. We got some rare drops. This one is a Ring of Protection is not that rare, but this Life Meaning helmet is pretty rare. Oh no, Tiana, she turned into a pile of blood. Not really. And we cut to Arturus' scene. This has been revamped. Obviously you see his sprite has been changed. I'm not sure if I like the way that I stretched this sprite, the soldier sprite. It looks like they're taller, but then again, I'm like, not everyone's going to be the same size. Why does everybody have to be the same size, you know? Some of these soldiers, I mean, they're soldiers because they're big brutes, you know, they're big dudes or whatever.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
And they have giant, disproportionate helmets on in real life, too.
I'll turn it there. It should pick you up a little bit better if you're at the microphone.
Oh, it's a game. Okay. I didn't know what Bennett Foddy was. You ever heard of it?
Yeah. It's called Getting Over It. And you use a mallet and you're like, you don't have any legs.
Uh-huh.
And so a lot of big YouTubers played it. A lot of YouTubers, period, played it, because after a couple big ones do it, everybody jumps on the bandwagon.
Right.
But I watched a few episodes. I think I watched PewDiePie do it. Mm-hmm. He was,
I think you told me about it once, where if you're trying to get like higher and higher and higher, but if you slip up even once, you fall back to the beginning.
Well, you can fall back to the beginning, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's designed in a way that, like, when you... It really penalizes mistakes big time. Mm-hmm. So, like, when you get over a difficult part, you may have just been trying, and you barely just got over it. And then you mess up, like, way later, but you fall all the way past, like, 6 or 7 parts that really tripped you up.
So people rage over it.
It is a rager. Yeah, it is one of those games. Game. It makes for an entertaining content, but... it would just exhaust me. It would physically exhaust me trying to not only play that game, but record it, right? And engage an audience with it. And
yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't... I have seen it. The lighting, even in here, this didn't have lighting before, and I like how... it's kind of subtle, but I just think it adds so much.
I like how you did the tent. I never thought of doing tents like that. That's neat.
This was made by, this tent was made, this whole scene I made, and then somebody sent me a map and remade it for me.
That's very neat.
Yeah, I gotta know. It's bothering me because I know his name. Really cool guy. It's just been a little while. Noob KX. I'm not gonna forget you, dude. He made a lot of good maps for me, and this is one of his that he sent to me. And Appreciate you, Noob KX. I don't think he watches me anymore. I don't know if he does anything with MV anymore, but he did for a while. He may still be lurking around. But he's a cool guy, and he made a few maps for me, and I still appreciate that. So you can't do anything when you have Arturus. You can't go in the sewers. You have to defend the castle. Go to the bridge. It'll tell you the same thing. So you have to go here. I made this scene a lot shorter. This was a problem. Before, you had to fight all of the orcs, the Uruks. And there was like 15. Originally there was 25, and I cut it to 15. But I've dropped it down to, I think, 5 or 6 or 7. I don't know. I made it a lot easier, as well as adjusting the starting TP mode of Arturus to Loner. So he gets a lot of TP every turn, just because he's the only party member you have for right now. It seems that Legend of Driftwood is at least slightly inspired by Dragon Quest IV with the whole chapters thing. Well, I mean, I don't actually go into the game and say this is, like, in the game it doesn't say chapter 0, chapter 1, chapter 2. I'm just segregating that in my mind, and like that's how I split it verbally, so I know like what I'm actually working on. Am I working on old content that I already had in the game, or am I working on new maps, adding new events and new NPCs, so it's like the next section, chapter. I did play Dragon Quest. I played it when it was Dragon Warrior on Nintendo, so I kind of like fell off the bandwagon of being a fan of Dragon Quest. Not that I don't like it, it's just like I'm not a huge fan of it anymore. Did I make protection wear off at the end of combat? I think I want to change that. That wasn't 10 rounds. So Arturus still has that when his HP falls below 50%. We have a Weapon Unleashed plugin, Yanfly's Weapon Unleashed plugin, to replace, it does a guard replace. So guard becomes Knight's Valor, which still gives him the guard stance, but it also gives him some resists and buffs and energy shield, which is another plugin from Yanfly. I made Blade Rush more accessible and usable, so you're going to be able to Blade Rush a lot more often, which makes the fights faster. I also reduced the number of fights that you actually have to do in here, so you don't have to kill everything anymore. You just need to kill a certain number of things. So I'm kind of going to just kill as few as possible and see if it'll tell me. I think I let the player know. Also, there's Dirac sliding in here. Once again, this is a free-to-play game, and I do have sample maps being used here. This is a slightly changed sample map. Still holding out hope for a localized Mother 3. I don't know, Earthbound is amazing, but I don't know if they're going to come back with anything. I would totally be hyped and interested in a new Earthbound or Mother series game, but I don't know if, I mean, you're going to have your cult audience, right? There's a cult of following. That has a cult following, and there will be people who just, you know, we're going to buy it and love it no matter what. But I think the audience is changed slightly. So the game can't just be like the same thing that you've seen on the Super Nintendo. I don't think it'll do well. If this same game was released now, I don't think it would work. I don't think it would work the same. I think you would get the same results. Now I can auto-optimize, but some things don't optimize on purpose, like this, because sometimes it's hard for the game to determine what relic is better than the other, because just the higher stat doesn't make it better. So I don't want the player to put on a relic, and then when they auto-optimize, it takes off the relic they want for something the game thinks is better just because it got one more stat than the other thing. So I just made it so that you can't auto-optimize certain things. I don't know why, it just makes sense to do it this way. So you have to put the Ancient Skull on yourself. If you don't, you can get instant killed by these Necromancers. So I could have died in one hit, which is some BS, really. But I give the player the option, or the ability, to be immune to it. I messed up and forgot to do it, but luckily I didn't get hit with bad RNG. So not only do you have to forget, but you also have to get hit with bad RNG. So we have a music change here, which I need to address and fix. It shouldn't actually switch music change because it feels like, oh, all is better now, and it's just castle music. And it shouldn't be that way yet, so I have to fix that as well. Let me swap this out. Castle, music, sorry, change. So I remember, because I forget. Okay, so here's our message. I'm also stopping all the events from moving with another Yanfly plugin, stop map movement plugin. So when I go here, all of the things, just the events, they stay there. So you must kill at least 5 enemies before you go on. Before, originally it was 25 fights, and I was at the beginning, I'm like, what am I doing right here? This is just unnecessary padding. I dropped it down to 15, and then I kept it there for a while, and then I think I made it 10, and then I pushed an update when I fixed a few bugs. But for a while, it was like 10 or 15 fights. So I made it 5. I've removed some, and then, so I think there's still 10 if you want to fight all the things, but you only have to kill 5. You only have to fight 5 things. So let's kill this guy and then the Necro. You can see I adjusted the size of this guy too. Oh, you know what? I can just fix this one thing right now. I'm gonna fix it real quick. Minimize this real quick. I want to make protection the state that that you get here. I'll have to find it first, but I want to make it not disappear at the end of combat. I'm not sure exactly why I made it disappear at the end of combat. I'll have to find it again here. Oh, there's my baby. It's the problem. You walk away from a game for a long time and you come back and you don't remember where those things, those states are. Oh, I know why. It's not a state. It's just a buff. It's just a buff. I'm going to make a state right now. I'm going to make it a state and change that, actually. I'm going to make this a protect state, protection. And it'll do the same thing as the buff, but this will give me the ability to let it sustain through combat rounds. So I'll just give it this real quick for now, and I'll give it more customized stuff later on. And all it's going to do is do a parameter change of defense bonus. It's going to give you a 50% defense bonus. Really simple. And it's not removed at the end of the battle, and the auto removal timing will be after you do your turn, and it will last between 5 to 10 rounds. Nope, not 70. Okay, 5 to 10 rounds. And then I will do another one for shell, protection, and what was the name of it? Yeah, I called it shell. It's a willpower bonus. Okay. So we'll use the same thing, but we'll give it this one, and we will change our parameter to magic defense to 150. And let me update those real quick. So protection and shell, this will be turn in 5 to 10 rounds, and we'll go to the skills. And I will find protection, the skill that is granted to Arturus, and just adjust it real quick so that it doesn't just give a buff, it adds a state. Do we have a search function, Control F? Oh my god, when did they add this? Find pro. No, can't find anything. Protection. Really? I pressed Control F, by the way, to do that search. Wait a minute, let me just see mine. Oh, it does find. Okay. So, what did I call it then? I called it protection. So he obviously has a skill called protection. Why is it not showing it? when I search for it. Protection. See, I searched for it, but it didn't find it. That's odd. Oh, I think I know what happened. I had to click Find Previous because I was past it on the search, right? So if I start at 1 and find next, simple mistake. Okay, so this is going to add. We're going to use Yanfly's code and do //it, or wait, /it, and then we're going to put in the number of the state. I forgot what it is. I'm going to put 1 for now. Adds protection for 5 to 10 turns. And instead of add buff right here, we're going to have it add a state, and it will add the state of protection, which is 38. We see that number there. So here we'll put 38, and we'll give it a comma and give it a description. Because it's like, oh, it's called protection. It gives protection. Well, duh, right? So what does that actually do? Enhances defense for, I think I use vitality in this game. Yep, vitality by 50%. Right. And then for shell, we'll adjust this one so it doesn't add a buff. Instead, it adds a state. This would be 39, shell. And it adds that guaranteed. And the same thing, and we'll say adds /it 39 for 5 to 10 rounds. Did I say turns or rounds? Turns. I think I use those interchangeably. I would like to have just picking one and going with the same one consistently, and just to have some sort of consistency through it. Enhances magic. What do I call it? Willpower. Willpower by 150%. Alright, it's just 50%. Enhances the willpower by 50%. Awesome. So now these will grant states, and they already have custom animations, which are from a Yanfly animation, actually. Now these will add states, and they will persist instead of buffs that wear off, because I think that would kind of annoy me. Obviously, it'll be on the next playthrough, but that's one adjustment. And I've basically been doing that until I get a huge text changelog. And I know it's kind of like, oh, it's extra work to do all these things, but it really, at the end of the day, it's good to have a log. So adjusted protection and shell skills from add buff to add state. They now persist after combat. And it may seem like, oh, that's just extra work, but it's really worth it. Do a changelog, because then you'll forget the things that you did. And if you're trying to keep your audience up to date on what's happening, having a changelog is great. If you have really hardcore fans, I'm not saying I have a ton of hardcore fans for this game. There's probably a couple, but if you do have a huge base of hardcore fans, they're gonna want a changelog. Cario Bo, how you doing? I think I have to kill one more thing, and then it'll let us fight the boss. Vino. Control F works in your 1.52. I didn't even know it existed until you just showed it. Learn something new every day. I didn't remember if I saw they added something in the search function. I think it was in the plugins or somewhere. And then I was like, I wonder if they have it here. And apparently they do, so that's good. Yeah, I don't recommend that you just copy-paste kanji or hiragana or any type of language or language that you don't really know what it says, because you don't really know what you're saying, right? You don't want to say the wrong thing and get in trouble when you didn't even know what you were saying. Get a scale mail here. We can optimize. Put that life mending helmet on. Recovery effects plus 25%. That'll help. That one's a rare drop. I think it's only 2, 3, 4, or 5% from the first boss, the optional fight. So it's pretty decked out. You know, I didn't really upgrade my characters until I got Arturus right here. As far, not upgrade, but like equipped most things. I suppose I did auto-optimize my other guys too. I added a couple of extra things in here. There's basically generally more loot now if you go searching for it. So let's go ahead and spend our points and enhance our stats. We don't have enough JP to do that because we skipped most fights. We did the bare minimum, which is fine. Now this isn't so long and grindy, right? That's what I didn't want. We have the assassin here trying to kill the king. I stretched this one out once again, just like the knight he's stretched out. Looks a little weird with the, like, I didn't reduce his head size. I'll have to edit some of the sprites more. The knight actually looked okay, because, I don't know, for some reason it looked fine with a helmet, but then as a hood, it looked like a stretched out chibi sprite, because that's what it is. I also stretched out the battlers, I don't know if you can notice that, but all of the battlers also have been stretched out, so that their heads have been slightly reduced. Alright, let's start with the protection. Let's see if it automatically does the state. No, it's still doing the buff. It's still adding the buff. I'll have to start a new game for that to take effect. Oh, I made this guy harder now, I remember. The elite assassin had 2 or 3 moves that he just like never used in general, because he had to go down to, I think, 10 or 15% HP to have access to those powerful moves like assassinate. So I raised that to, I think, 25% or 33%. So as you beat up the assassin more and more, he unlocks more of his moves. And if he has you bleeding and then assassinates you, he can one-shot you if you don't have any shield on, if you're depending on how much grinding you've been doing with the character. I typically would expect the player to not do too much. The player also has more access to Blade Rush, so you can get crits and finish him. The second, there's Assassinate. Luckily we're not bleeding. If we were bleeding, that would have killed me, because it does extra damage to a bleeding target. But the bleed didn't land on his attacks, so that's good. You hear the noise from my baby's pen. She's got this rocker that makes all these different noises. T's in there with her right now. We got a malleable enchantment, an emblem. This is a guaranteed drop. This one I think is uncommon, and this one's more rare, but we didn't get the rare drops. You can get a fire stiletto weapon, which does a really ton amount of damage. Oh, I changed swords around completely so that all swords now give HP. As of before, only the Prideful Longsword gave HP and the other swords didn't. And I also changed the staffs to give MP. Will Black, how you doing? It's good to see you too, man. And the problem with that was I would auto-optimize with the hotkey, right? With this button. Oops, nope, that's the change the music one. Oh, and it picked the battle music, which we don't need to hear. Nope, let's just keep swapping through. Wow, I don't want to hear into that. Anyway, this button. And it would automatically switch to the Prideful Longsword, even if I had like a silver or a obsidian or even a much better one. At this point, it's the best sword that I have for Arturus. Anyway, we're sent out of the thing, the castle, save the king. We have to like figure out what we're going to do to fight back. And if you talk to them, you get some more flavor text, but it's kind of it's really nothing storyline related. It's we got to regroup and attack. Blah 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 blah. I blocked the player off right here from going out on the balcony. Because it messes up a cutscene and I haven't found a good way to get around it yet. So you have to just exit out of the castle from the front entrance at this point. And then after this cutscene takes place, you can exit on the balcony again. But this is where the party meets up. Yada yada. I've adjusted a couple of things in the text here. Some grammar, small stuff that I don't really need to highlight too much. Text colors on certain words. Spacing. I did do a lot of spacing. I changed the way the text is so that it looks better, but it's not. It's still. It's like a constant process. A lot of your messages are being held, Mushri, just so you know. You may have said it, but nobody saw it but you, probably. Alright, so now we have Driftwood and Arturus. At this point, it would be smart to take off some of this stuff, right? The player won't know that. That's why I'm not going to take it all off. Take a couple of things off. So we can go back on the balcony now. Even the castle. Inside has a gray tint and outside has like a bluer tint for most of the maps. Here we go to another party change cutscene. And we're switched to Lydia's scene. You can save anywhere. We definitely should, because I don't think we've been saving it for a while. Alright, we've saved it. You can die in here. If you just get unlucky. I made an item for Lydia to stop a BS death. This Lydia's Wild Armor, which is what she starts with, makes her immune to poison and paralyze. Because before, you can get paralyzed by some of the creatures in here, and then it's just like they keep getting their turn and they kill you. So I didn't like that, but I didn't want to take that ability from them, because then they felt like boring creatures. They didn't have any real interesting skills. So they still can paralyze these wildebeest things. I also adjusted the starting level of all the skills, including Lydia's skills. So she now has multiple skills to start with. She doesn't just have an attack. She starts with mixes and magics, and she also has a 100 LP move, which is really cool. Because before, you would just basically max out your LP, and you wouldn't do anything else with it. So it feels much better now. Let's go ahead and do some killing. Most of the time, you're going to be using Funnel Root. That's the go-to move. I increased its strength a bit. That was a crit, though. It's usually not that strong, yeah. What do you think of the Druid class? What, in D&D 5e, or like just in general and lore? I think Druids are awesome. In 5th edition D&D, they're super strong. So you can still get stunned, but it wears off when you get hit. There's a good chance that it wears off. How many main characters are in this game? Well, let's see. You start with Driftwood and Tiana, and then you get Arturus, and then Lydia, and then Olwyn, and then there is another party member that you get in the next part of the story. Let's look at Whiplash the Bard. You get the Bard. I forgot what I named him. It was actually named by one of the people who watched my live stream. a long time ago, and then I didn't see that person for a long time, and I didn't actually put the Bard in the game until the last pass through in the past couple months. So you'll have to wait and see for the last character. It's actually, there is a cutscene with that character. You don't, the quest to unlock him isn't in the game yet. They're just, or it's in the game, but it's not completed yet, so you can't get him in the party yet. But he's completed, has a sprite, has a lot of skills. The Bard was going to be like your better healer. Wait, did that skill not take, did Whiplash not take TP? Let me just double check this. Let me go to the top, press Control, oh no, skills. I'll go to the top, I'm going to press Control F and type in Whiplash. Find it. I love that feature, such a good feature. Control F inside of your things, your skills and other tabs. I'm sure it's implemented other places as well. TP cost 100. No, it's definitely there. Is it TP gaining? Why is it restoring so much TP then? It's adding an animation. Is there any other instances of Whiplash? Find next. No, it's just the one. And it says it has 100 TP cost. Okay. So that was odd, because I could have swore I used it, and then I gained TP. So let's see what happens here. I'll do it again. I'm not going to grab all of these Atlas flowers. Okay, Whiplash. Okay, so it did consume it. That was weird, though. It seemed like maybe I hit a different spell. Oh no, we're stunned. Yeah, Druids are OP, Charles and Eco. In a lot of games, the Druids are pretty awesome. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. And it's weird that it puts the battle music in. There's like 50 tracks that you can get. Will Black says, I like how you stretch the sprites. You somehow avoided the issue where their hands look huge. Any chance you'll do a tutorial in the future stretching the battler sprites? I did a tutorial on that. Will Black, yeah, I already did a tutorial on that. Can you find the tutorial of me stretching?
Absolutely. I would love to.
Yeah. And we can put that in the chat for... I made a... Royal actually showed me how to do it. Yeah. Royal Crown Code. Like, I was able to stretch sprites, but I did them very slowly and manually, and it took a long time for every one of them. But Royal showed me a way to make a script in Photoshop so that you can record the process of stretching it. Yeah, I watched a tutorial from Royal, and then I also made one in context to my game. And yeah, and so I made a script to basically I can import the generated sprite. And then press play on the script, and it stretches it out and automatically saves and overwrites it. And so the first one you make takes a while, but then once you have the script, the second, third, fourth, fifth one, most of them work the same as long as you're like randomly generating them with the character generator. You saw the tutorial on the map series, but you didn't see a battler one. It's essentially the same thing. You manually do it by stretching one out, but you record every step you take until you get like a perfect, like you do it perfectly without having to undo and back up a lot. and then you just save that script, and you can even do it in the batch file. Royal showed me how to make a batch file that would let me just drag and drop like 50 sprites on it, and it would just fix them all. But I didn't quite get that working right. I think it was a version issue. I'm using an older version of
Was this tutorial inside one of your live streams?
No, I made it a standalone video. It was a tutorial. I'm pretty sure I linked it up to the 300 plus playlist. I know that doesn't help because there's 300 plus videos to go through. But it would be one of the more recent ones, maybe like 5 months ago, 6 months ago, something like that. Had a small batch problem. Well, shucks, I don't have Photoshop and GIMP has no recording function.
It doesn't.
I'll look
and that
on
is
your
such a
channel
shame.
to see how you did it.
GIMP is so awesome, but it doesn't have that. I wish it
Yeah,
had that.
GIMP does a lot right, but they don't have everything that Photoshop has. I'm going to start with Venom Bolt. I don't think I can poison this thing. I don't remember. Yeah, I didn't get it. I will save the Whiplash. No, I've got max. Okay, let's use it. Bang! So this fight is spam funnel route, pretty much. This fight used to be really hard because this flower had a regeneration and it would also steal life. So I kind of made it a little bit easier. The boss fights where you're one-on-one with characters, I feel like the assassinate one, the assassin, yeah, that's what it's called, is harder when you're fighting. But Arturus' character is stronger than Lydia's on a one-on-one because he's like unkillable pretty much. You can still die if you're bleeding and you don't have near full health and you get assassinated and you haven't done any grinding. You can still die, but most likely you're not going to. And this fight, yeah, I mean you can die, but it shouldn't, most of the time you're not going to. I don't want the storyline bosses to be super strong. Oh, we got a lot of drops though. We got a Blinding Strike enchant, lots of the lower percent chance stuff dropped. That's pretty good. Anyway, you can still macro with GIMP, says Royal. So there's a lot of these items that you can go around and pick up. There's even lighting on this map now, Tarax lighting. It's subtle because you're out in the open, but there's still like some lighting that you can kind of tell going on. Tarax. And these things have a glow. If you look, there's a little blue glow around the blueberries. Kind of subtle, but picking up some items. How does a flower drop all of that? I don't know, Mushri. It just does. Alright, let's go to Mossdale. Updated this town slightly. This cutscene is basically the same. I changed a few of the show text events around just a bit to some sentences like went all the way across the screen and then it'd have like a couple of words on the next line, so I just kind of reformatted it so that it doesn't look so weird in certain spots. It's pretty much chunked text, and I don't know how to say it, but I made it look a little bit better in my opinion. The core dialogue is all the same. I adjusted. You can get an item in one of these spots. Is it this one? Nope. It was up here. There it is. And I put an item right here. Yeah. And then I think there's one more. I don't remember. It just works with 16 times the detail. Mega Monster 2, what's up? How you doing? This sprite needs to be done. Holy crap. That's a weird stretch job. Look at this guy. I had a lot of sprites to go through, okay. Now when you ask for something special, they actually have something for sale. Before, they all said, just come back later. But now there's something in the I want something special tab. So the miner's kit, which is really cool, you don't actually have to equip a pickaxe to do mining damage. It took a while to figure out how to make this work exactly right. But it works. It costs 10,000. Right here, we don't start with helmets. So let me see. I did get one helmet to drop. And we have an iron helmet, so I need one helmet. So it's all I really need to do is buy an iron helmet. He sells weapons, huh? Shop for items. This is the weapon shop. Okay. Gotta go to the armor shop. Let's just get an iron helmet. That's all we needed here. Actually, we could have just optimized like that by pressing the equal sign. Me likes Natural Explorers game. Well, I'm still working on Natural Explorers. That's a game I plan to sell, and I'm going to keep working on it. This one is a free-to-play game that I'm bringing up to speed. It's in desperate need of some love, so I'm playing it to show off the changes that I've made to it, and at the same time find little bugs before I put out a content patch. Very soon. Wow, the screen tint on this map is crazy. I don't think this is quite right. Enchanter screen tint. Okay, hold up. Tint screen. Okay, sorry, I'm making notes. Doesn't need to be that blood red. So she sells enchantments. I removed some. Oh yeah, updating. I had to get rid of the enchantment that let you rename your items. I know it was a kind of like just for a fun thing, but it was kind of cool. I like that you can rename your items. I couldn't get that plugin to work the same way after going from 1.3 to 1.62. So I had to remove it. So a couple things have been taken out. It's fine though. I think what I want to do is buy a fire resistant enchantment and a water damage enchantment, so drowning enchantment. This is going to help us with the dragon fight later on. She also sells other stuff, so let's see what else we can get. Ring of Regeneration is good for sure. Let's get a Ring of Regen and move on. Let's put the regen on, I would say, Arturus, because he's so strong, and he'll have the most HP that it'll work the best on him. Alright, let's move on to the next quest area. Galactic God, how you doing, man? It's great to see you making content again. It's good to be making content again.
I'm not finding it. I think it must be sandwiched in one of your videos.
I'm pretty sure I talked about it in a live stream, but I also made a standalone video.
You must have titled it something wonky.
I might have.
I'm not finding it.
You know what I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah.
The Photoshop one where I show how to resize sprites.
Yes. Let me
type in like one word,
Photoshop.
resize.
I did. I tried a few search terms.
Oh yeah, I put an iron helmet there so the player wouldn't have to go to buy it. Forgot. I threw some more treasure and loot around. Also, this map, like almost every other map, I've updated the lighting. I've slightly increased the encounter rate, but as you can see, it's still very, like, you can walk through without getting into battle. The problem is, when you adjust the random encounter rate, sometimes it feels super grindy, and you up it even like one notch, and you feel like, well, I could walk across the whole map and not get attacked. But then, you know, you up it and you walk across 2 steps and get attacked. So it's very random, and you don't know. I found a stretching sprites video, but it was about 2.5 hours long, and it looked like a live stream. Yeah, if it was 2.5 hours long, it was probably a live stream.
I think that's probably all there is.
You don't need skill if you have the internet. You'll just need to do some studying for a few hours before you can get it set up in a practical fashion. Yeah, it took a little while to get it just right. But man, I'm glad I did that because it makes it so that I can quickly do it. Anyway, since we're talking about it, I can show it off really quick. Like how fast you can make a stretch sprite now. Inside the engine, you can randomly generate a character. So let's go ahead and randomize and make a character. Let's see, something interesting and unique. Alright, this guy. So you can make a, let's just give him a thing. So export, we'll call him Redman. Wasn't that a rapper name at one time? Wasn't there a rapper named Redman?
I don't know.
I'm tripping, there must be. Anyway, I'm just exporting all of them. You don't even have to do this. We're going to call this Redman. And, import Redman for this, and then we put the damage right here. Export. I'm doing it in a specific way, overriding it because I have an empty. I don't want to have an empty tile right here because my macro, my script has something right here to resize, and then I can also do the battler. So let's do the battler. I have two different scripts: one for the battler, and one for the walking sprite. And I'll just save the settings for Redman. Alright, so we randomly generated a character. Inside of Photoshop, I will open up Redman, and let's see, I go to the games folder, RPG Maker, MV, this one, it's saved in IMG. We'll go to characters and find Redman. I've got them sorted by date created, so it shows up. And then I've got the script right here, actually. So I have this selected, and this is for to resize the sprite by making the sprite 50% taller, but also reducing the head size from 100 to 75%. So what I'll do is click on this, and then I just press play. And it stretches this out, and then there we have the stretched out sprite. And it already saved it too. It already overwrote it. So I don't even have to do anything with that. So I open the battler now, which would be in SV Actors. And we have Redman here. And then this is a different one. So I'm going to go to the resize the battler one and press play, and then boom, we've stretched out the battler, so now he's a taller battler. And it's already saved, so it's updated. And we randomly generated stretched out sprites like that quick. But it took a while to get this set up. And I basically went into to here in the scripts, and I started a script. I actually have to go back and look at my video, find it, to really remember all of the steps. But you go into scripts and you start a script and you record your steps. And then you manually do it. So if we were to manually do it, let's go to... Did I already stretch this guy? I didn't stretch this guy. So let's stretch him out. But if I was going to manually do it, I would change the image size. So I would go to image size, and then I'll go to %, and then I'd go to like on the width I'm going to keep it the same, but on the height I'm going to increase it by 50%, and I'll hit OK. So it stretched it out, but I also need to reduce the big head, right? So I go in manually, and I remember I'm recording my steps in a script right now. So as I'm doing this, I'm recording that step, and then I'm recording the next step. And I zoom in. I would probably zoom in with Control Space and left click. And then I would free transform this and reduce his head size to about 75%. And I would look at this right here and put it in manually. And I'd hit like OK. Boom. Obviously that could have been done cleaner. I think I see some little artifacts, but it's fine. And then I would go to the next one and do the same thing, but recording my steps the whole time. So when I get that saved, I can save that as a file, and then when I load in another battler, I literally just press play, So let me undo my steps. What is it? There we go. Boom. Right? So I would resize it now that I'd have to do that for every row of heads, and then I would have it saved, and then I just hit play, and boom, it'll make it a stretched out sprite, because it remembers all the steps that you took. You're literally making a macro of it. And it saved it too, so the Snow Fisherman is going to look different now. Alright. If you save it. It'll save it if you, at the end of your script, you say file save as, or save and you overwrite. So it's pretty simple, but you just gotta like figure out what buttons to press, and then when you're like recording your steps. I do have a video on it, otherwise I would go into more detail. I just have to find it, and because I'm like, this is a cool thing, and people are gonna want to know how to do this. So I made a video on it because I saw Royal's video on it, and I think in the video I specifically mentioned you can go watch Royal's video as well if I missed something. I blame Big Smoke. Let's get this enchantment. Doom, 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 doom. So the turtles, you see that Arcturus did 50 and then Slice did 800, because the turtles take regular damage from Bushido, but they take reduced damage from physical. So those numbers aren't like completely out of whack. They just have resistances applied. Oh, I also need to adjust Arcturus's TP mode. He's not getting TP now because he's still on loner, and he's no longer a loner, so he's not getting that TP bonus. Oh no, we got put to sleep. Getting hit will wake you up though, fortunately. Are you able to share the script for others to use? I don't know. How is it saved as a file? I'm sure it's saved as a file somewhere. But then you would you would have to modify it, because it's going to. What about where it saves it, the file location? Probably where you would load the file from, so that may not be modified. Maybe Galactic God. I could Google it, but I don't have a lot of time to stream. Oh yeah, I put loot in here too. I gave the party adamantium ingots early on, just to let the party know that, hey, there's another type of ore that you don't see in the game yet. And I mean, you do at this point, but in the previous release that's available. Wait, you do get adamantium there, but you have to beat the dragon, go back to the castle, and then you fly into Lydia's farmstead, and then you walk up to the cave, and there are adamantium veins there. But most players, they see the end credits, and they just like, oh, that's the game. Like, there was some open-endedness to it at the end. Technically, yes, you could share the file, but anything like save or open or rename wouldn't work. Not to mention the Photoshop versions would have to be the same for the best out. Yeah. And I have an old standalone version of Photoshop that it's still on a CD. Installed from a CD. When's the last time you installed something from a CD? Yeah, I'm not sure either, Galactic God. Talking about the script, I had to do it a few times. I had, like, when I was recording it, the script, like, it kept messing up, like, because I would mess something up, and then the script would record my error, and even undoing. So I would start over. You could just hold the image of the actions before the end of the stream for a bit for people to pause it. Well, I mean, yeah, I did that already. Like, essentially you do what I was saying is you resize the y-axis to add 50%, and then you would zoom in and highlight the whole row of the head, and you would bring that down, and those are the things. Because you say image size, set selection, transform current layer, set selection. That's so vague, no one's going to know what I'm talking about. It's tedious to make the script, but when you make it right, you load your random guy and you press play script, and he stretches it out, and you have a more custom sprite. Yeah, I agree with Royal. Like, Royal could have made them for me and gave it to me, but I made them myself because I figured it would just work better on my old version of Photoshop. And plus I wanted to know how to do it, so if I had to do it in the future. What happened? Oh my god, Lydia died. Okay, Lydia. No dying allowed. Get back up. You're our healer. Nah, don't worry about it, Doc. You're good. You're good, man. I made this optional boss fight significantly harder, but I don't think it's going to be unbeatable or even that hard. I'm going to start this fight. Oh, wait. Yeah, I got plenty of these tonics, so go ahead and use it. I think I made a... Yeah, I put another chest down here. There we go. Star Blossom. Let me save it, because I haven't saved it in a good minute. Alright, so this is an optional fight here. We get the cure to the poison. Or the... What is that? That's hilarious.
She's flashing. This kid's horrified.
So we can run. And let's see if we can... Let's try to retreat. We run away. I adjusted it. I'm not leaving without this ivory root. Boom. So even though we ran away, there's a little scene where we get... hurry, let's get out the cave, where we get the root. It's a miracle we escaped the first time. Most likely won't happen again. That was tell me twice. So we're being chased. We can run away from this optional boss. It will randomly chase us, and it's pretty easy to get away. I'm going to just try to fight it anyway. I wanted to show, like, it's part of the story. You can run away from it if it seems too hard. They're weak to fire, so I'm going to start with a quick strike, get a buff, and then do a fire attack. I don't think they can be... Yeah, they can't be poisoned. So I'm going to do my provokes and my harassments with Arturus so that he gets attacked, not Lydia. Lydia, use your superpower move. It consumes items, but it fully restores the whole party. So you can't, like, spam it infinitely. Ooh, nice crit. My goal was to not make the bosses just have a crap ton of HP, but to just provide a good amount of challenge so that you can die if you're not paying attention to what you're doing. So the fights shouldn't be super long, but they shouldn't be over in a few turns either. Let's see if we can paralyze it. I don't think so. We are landing crits, so that's going to help finish it quick. Another crit. Can I put it to sleep? I don't think we can put it to sleep. Astral Rift. Bang, bang, bang. Even though Arturus is provoking it, its magic attacks, when you get attacked by an area of effect, it still hits everybody. fire. If we crit that, it'll, yeah, it would have killed it. Let's see if we can poison. No, we can't poison it. Pretty easy. He didn't even use a strong move. I'm gonna just guard. I want to see it do its stronger move. I need to buff him. This fight was a pushover. It's an optional boss, but it's supposed to be harder. I'm still balancing a lot. I mean, Arturus is guarding, and he has crazy defense, and I have like provoke up. Like, I'm playing very optimal. Not everybody's going to, so I can't make him too strong. Yeah, he's gonna die. I'm just gonna kill him. So I'm gonna say buff the Greater Haunt. Buff Greater Haunt. Again. I did buff him, but I need to buff him again. Obviously he's too weak. He dropped some good loot. Oh my gosh. He dropped 3 of his several rare drops though. Very, very good loot. Let's see what we got here. Let me optimize. Bang. Frozen Chain Vest. I'm gonna put her armor back, her resistance to poison and paralyze on her though. Optimize. Phase Mask of Dark Vision gives 10% experience bonus, extra evasion, crit, hit stats, and this gives ice resistance, which is going to be good for the next area when you're in like the glacier zone. Let's go ahead and optimize him too. There we go. I'm glad the smooth scroll plugin still works in 1.6.
That I started making for that, but I was too lazy to finish.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It required me to figure out what he would look like on the side.
I told you to just let me have that one and I'll use it, and you said no, it's not done. I was like, no, just let me use that.
Well, it's up there now if you want it.
Okay. It doesn't have to be super good, but any customization makes it better. Even bad art, as long as it's not default art, is still better than default art most of the time.
Yeah, except for this one only goes in one direction.
That's fine. It's absolutely fine. Okay, let's get a quick heal at the end. Even though we should be rushing to, oh, we got the cure, let's just stop and kick our feet back while she's being turned into a plant zombie.
I used the wrong form of 2 again.
T-O-O? T-O? T-W-O?
I just put T-O. It's supposed to be T-O-O.
What's the context?
But I'm a good speller.
I'm a good speller too?
I'm a good speller too. T-O.
I'm a good speller too. I forget what I'm doing on this map.
You're going to take a rest?
I'm going to climb the stairs, and the stairs are in the front on this one, and
well, it's such a custom map, I can see where it's lost.
It's so customized. Anyway, no, we're not talking to the king. We need to deliver a cure to the nurse. She makes something and fixes it up. Several hours later. Tiana, you're awake. What happened? You contracted a deadly disease, more of a virus. We had to travel to the southern mountain pass to find a cure. Question mark. I'm sorry, who are you? She doesn't know who she is. She's like, who's this strange lady? It's funny to make Tiana be like a stuck-up little girl. Like on a mission to save her, and she's like a snotty little witch. She's not. I'm just thinking it's like a funny twist.
She's just disoriented because she was so sick.
Yeah, yeah, that's all. Yada yada yada. I helped you, now help me. Basic type of thing. Arturus is like, we need to find the guys who attacked us. You know, we've got the Empire, evil Empire, yada yada. We gotta fight back. And the resistance strikes back. And so we get command of the airship, but we have to find the captain, because the captain is out on leave. He's somewhere getting drunk, probably. And I eliminate the backtracking through the castle, even though I normally keep some backtracking, because well, there's a sense of urgency. You need to get the cure back, and then there's not a high encounter rate anyway. But I eliminate backtracking when it's annoying, because you go through the castle, the kingdom, so many times. Like, at this point, you're like, God, I gotta walk back through this stupid castle. Plus, it's a sample map, so it's even that much worse. So I skip you right off of it and put you right next to where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
Eliminate some padding in there.
I had a sample castle in my game as well, and I don't anymore. I redid that map finally.
Yeah, but this game's not done, is it?
No.
That's the thing. It's so hard to get a game done.
I redid all the maps with Tile D, which means I actually have to rewrite the entire game because you have to start a new project in order to use Tile D.
Yeah, because it's either all the maps are Tile D or none of the maps are Tile D, yeah. And when I found that out, I was like, oh, I better put Tile D on the back burner for right now.
So I think I have like a couple really easy maps, like black background maps, or just a couple things on it left, and I can start eventing really soon and getting the game put together. Yeah. I should just do it.
Oh yeah, it's hard to finish projects.
Yeah.
I updated the lighting on this map too, on all of the maps. It looks, it's a lot of them. It's just a subtle thing, but I think it adds a lot when you've got some sort of lighting engine, obviously. I don't know what else I can say. I mention a lot because it draws my attention quite often.
Yeah, the lighting is beautiful.
It's subtle. It's nothing really, but I'm so used to seeing these scenes because I've test played my game a million times, and it hasn't been except for the past 2 or 3 months that I've got lighting on certain lighting besides just like the Pokemon Dark Cave Tyrax lighting, happening. Anyway, so yeah, Olgun's gonna help us, but he wants some help as well. We gotta go find an artifact for Olgun. So the team's like, alright, we'll do it, but Olgun's like, well, we probably should get some silver weapons and stuff before we go, because we're gonna be fighting, I don't know, vampires or undead or something.
You know, when you're doing playthroughs of this, bug testing or whatever, you should have a chest with all the silver weapons and like armor just in it, so you can grab it and move along.
Yeah, but then I won't understand where the player's at mentally when they have that stuff. You have to grind it yourself to know what the grind is. You can't just cheat the items in and expect, oh, well, when I tested it, it felt fine.
I do it all the time.
I mean, you can do that, right? But to really get into the psyche of the player, you have to become the player, and you play the game the way you designed it without cheating anything in.
You can modify the mining, right?
I made the mining so much smoother, faster, and better.
That's good.
Right. But that's why you're saying it, because you played through. The mining was a slog.
It literally took me 8 hours to play the game. I think 4 of it was mining.
Because you're a completionist to a point where you gotta have, like, full sets of armor.
I must have everything.
So, I updated some of the maps here. Made some of them shorter, smaller. And there's the gray lighting and whatnot. You can identify your items. Let's get some crafters tokens because it's cheaper if you buy crafters token. Actually, we can sell stuff for tokens here, can't we? But some things sell for tokens, right? What sells for tokens? Which guy is it? Crafters shop. Here we go. Shop for items. You can buy stuff for crafting tokens here and also sell them. self-crafted tokens here. How did I do it before? Oh, so you'd actually have to buy. So you just sell your loot, and then you buy crafter's tokens. So crafter's token is 50 gold. You buy 10 of them, that's 500 gold, right? You can either spend 1,000 gold or 10 crafter's tokens, which is 500 gold, to identify an item. I think I'm just going to reduce that to 500. Ooh, another face mask. So your unidentified items are not determined until you identify them right here. So they're just, you know, a consumable item, or not. It's not consumable, but anyway, it's just an item, a placeholder item, until you identify it, and then it pulls from a random loot of powerful magic items. Some of them better than others, obviously. So let's get another. I think I have another unidentified item. Ring of Minor Regen. That's okay. But anyway, what I'll do now is auto-equip that stuff. Some stuff doesn't auto-equip, like I said, the relics. But even rings seem to auto-equip. Okay, so yeah, it pretty much worked right. Thrax Media, how you doing? What's up, man? Another thing I wanted to do was to sell all of the coins that I found. Oh yeah, I updated the item categories for the Yanfly plugin. So you see the consumable items, and then the weapons and armors, and then crafting items are all in their own spot. And then all of your items are that you would normally have. Normally it put all of the items together, and you had items, weapons, and armor, and key items. But now they're separated, so if you want to see just your supplies, you can look at your consumables, and if you want to see just crafting items, you can see those. I'm looking for the coins, like here, the Golden Empire coins, because they really don't do anything except give you money when you sell them. So I'm selling those for some money here. So I got 10,000 coins, and there's another building with NPCs. Oh, I updated the prices on a lot of items, including all of the books, because they were just too expensive. I wanted the player to have access to these crafting systems and not have to pay like thousands and thousands of gold for all these crafting systems. So whenever I don't have a book, let's see, mithril weapons, obsidian weapons, adamantium weapons. And I didn't put all of them in here because you won't have access to these ores yet. So when you get access to these ores, you'll be able to get these other crafting things. Crafting books. Also the lapidary arts, the system works, but it doesn't do the player any benefit to upgrade your gems yet. Eventually, I want to make some sort of enchanting system or further integrate what is already there, so that upgrading your gems makes sense. Alright, so let's... Oh yeah, a simple update. Let's buy some pickaxes. Guys, I was so happy when I got this working. Because before, when you wanted to mine, you'd have to go into your equipment. I'm going to press E, or was it... Which one was it? U. And you'd have to go here and say, equip to pickaxe, and then you go to the next person, equip to pickaxe, next person, equip to pickaxe, over and over, right? And then you could go mining. But then when you want to fight creatures, you would auto-equip, and they would put all their weapons back on, and then they would no longer have pickaxes on, right? But then when you go back to mining, if you're in a dungeon that has fights with creatures and fights with ore, it was so annoying switching back and forth. So now, if you press M, it just puts pickaxes on all of your party members. So they're all wearing pickaxes now. And if I want to go back to my weapons, I just press equals, and it optimizes so that they have their weapons back on. Come on, show it off. There we go. Isn't that cool? Press M, they're all ready to mine. You press equal, they're all ready to fight again. And that was a huge problem. I'm going to show you the quick fix on how I did that. This was something that Yanfly showed me a long time ago on how to do with the item optimization with this code. So you run this code right here. You make a temporary variable, you set the game party all members dot length, and so the length is this, the number of party members you have. You make a for loop, and then you increment I before you check it. So it's plus plus I instead of I plus plus. Then you make a variable actor, and you say game party all members, function of with the index of I. So we're referencing the length, and we won't go past the number of actors that we have in our party. So if there's an actor, that means if there is a number for that actor, then you actor optimize equipment. So for every actor you have, it will run this script for each actor. And if you have 4, it'll do it 4 times, 1 for each. If you have, if you have 1, it'll do it once. But so, and I was working with this script, and so I was thinking, how do I make it so that I only checked the weapons? And so this was the basis for the new script call for making it where I can optimize the mining. And let me find where I put it. So that's where I started with it, was something that Yanfly showed me. And then I banged my head against the keyboard for a second, and then I'm like, oh, it's simple. You do it like this. Now let me find where I put it. Step count, equipped optimizer. Equip pickaxes. So I essentially took that script call. It's still not done yet because I'm adding more pickaxes to it. I took that script call, and then I added data weapons. So instead of optimize equipments, I'm not using that function. I'm using actor change equipment, and 0 meaning its first slot. So now it's doing actor change equip 0, and then data weapons to 21. So it's checking to see if we have the weapon 21, and if so, it changes it to that pickaxe. And then it says, okay, instead, if you have the next pickaxe, which I think is a silver pickaxe, then override it with that. And then if you have this other pickaxe, override it with that, then override it with that. So there's multiple levels of pickaxes. So it's just running the script over and over, putting on the best pickaxe that the player has. So when you press this, it's going to cycle through and put on the best pickaxes that the party has. And you don't have to go into the menu at all to do it. So I thought that was fantastic. When I figured that out, I'm like, oh yes, it's going to make the not so tedious now. So we can mine. Okay, I forgot to actually, I'm using my weapons. Another thing that I adjusted was the escape. Before, you would have to try 3 or 4 times to run away from an ore on average. And I'm like, how do you fail to run away from a pile of rocks? It made no sense. So I adjusted the plugin parameter so that it 95% of the time you run away. I'm testing it now. Yeah, so you run away, easy. So the player is going to almost every time be able to get out of a fight if they don't want to fight it. So that's going to make it easier on speedrunners as well. So let me go ahead and press M. Now we're equipped to mine. And now instead of hitting for 0 with our weapons, we have the mine option. We're using Yanfly's replace attack. Replace attack. There we go. So we added multiple pickaxes, but you may notice now we have a mining category. So when you fill up your TP, you can use a move, so it's not just spamming the same thing. You can Shatter Strike, bang, and it has a chance to add Shattered, a state, which causes them to take more mining damage. So once they've been shattered, they take even more damage. This lets the player start mining silver immediately. That was a 1% drop on the unidentified ore, I think. Which is good. You can get unidentified ore from almost any ore, which will let you get higher level ingots. Anyway, I've overhauled the system completely, and now it's not so grindy. It's still gonna, you still have to smash some rocks with pickaxes to get your stuff, but every time you attack, there's a chance that your skill goes up, so your damage continues to go up as you mine. But instead of relying on that and just smashing it a million times, you have skills that can you can use your TP to use your skills on it that applies a state chance to apply a state. It also does just a lot more mining damage, so it's like a strong attack that also applies a state, which increases the damage that everybody else does. And you don't have to menu constantly now. So I'm so excited about the changes. I added another thing called the mining toolkit, which lets you mine with your sword. The downside is you don't have the mining... what was the downside? You don't get skill. You don't skill up when you're mining with your weapon. So you can mine with your sword if you're using a mining toolkit or your whatever skill, dagger you're using, whatever weapon you're using. But it doesn't give you skill ups unless you're using the pickaxe. A pickaxe. There are several pickaxes that you can use. So I'm not going to sit here and mine and get my full suits of armor. I'm going to kind of challenge and run through the next area without upgraded gear, because I've been lucky on my unidentified items and I've gotten quite a few good drops. So what I'll do is I will make one weapon. I will make a sword. So we have the synthesis open now. We'll craft weapons. So you can craft mithril, obsidian, and adamantium pickaxes now, which increases your damage and the chance for Shatter Strike. Oh yeah, also using Weapon Unleash, there's a chance that your regular mine actually turns into a Shatter Strike when you're just spamming mine. So that the higher level pickaxe you're using, the more likely that is to happen as well. So I'm going to make one weapon, the Silver Sword, and that's it. So that's all I was mining for. And we're going to put that on Driftwood. First of all, I'm going to just optimize my weapon. So now my equipments are optimized, but I want to enchant that weapon, the Silver Sword. Oh wait, that was for Arturus. Dang it, I wanted the katana, didn't I? Okay, I'm going to get the one, because I think I'll need that to beat the dragon. I don't want to die on the dragon. I'm not going to get full suits of armor. Let me retreat. This used to be such a hassle, now it's kind of easy. Just press M, and you escape immediately. Fantastic. Lord, why are there so many equipment slots? Yeah, that's a good question. I've said it many times that you don't need this many equipment slots. Keep in mind, I made this game 2.5, maybe 3 years ago. So yeah, a lot has like maintained in this game. A lot's been updated, but a lot of the core things have stuck around. Alright, let's go back to synthesis. Do I have 3 yet? That's silver. Let's make some silver ingots. What do I got? 4 ingots, good. Alright, let's craft the weapon. We need the, not the sword, but the katana. So we'll make a silver katana. Boom. Now, we will enchant that silver katana with a drowning enchantment. Drowning enchantment! I'm going to use a malleable enchantment to also put blinding on it, and then I can still add more stuff if I want to do it. Alright, let's rush to the boss. Let me make sure I equip my stuff. Ah! Or I can just keep spamming full heals. The pyramid. The dragon in this fight, in this temple, this dungeon, this whatever this is, used to be the final boss. It's no longer the final boss. but I want to show the new cutscenes and stuff. I've upped the encounter rate slightly, but you can still get from map to map without getting into combat. So, I mean, I don't want to up it too much more, because then when RNG strikes, you get into a combat every few steps, so it's tough to balance the number of steps. I may need to add a little bit more encounter rate. Oh yeah, updated Olgwin, so he's not a useless scrub immediately. He starts with all of his level 1 shots, and he starts with some of his level 2 shots, and he starts gaining those. So he does a lot more damage now. He's more useful, and he can play on enemies' weaknesses because he can deal 6 different types of elemental damage with his weapon. That's random amount of gold that you can get, I believe. Or I think I just typed a random number. I think it'll be the same. Within a range, right? Let's see. I think they're weak to water. I don't remember exactly. Water or fire. Drifty, favorite mechanic you've made for the game? What is my favorite mechanic that I made for this game? The mining system and like all the things that it entails. I think it's my favorite like single thing. Because I started off as something simple and then I just kept expanding on it. I made a couple videos about it 2 years ago, and then I made another video about it like the next bit of changes I made like several months later. And now I've had another overhaul the past couple months where I've added a bunch of stuff. All of the changes are in here in this text log. A lot of it is mining system updates. And that's just for from the last couple months. Demo's Overkill, what's up, my dude? So glad to have you back. Hope you and your family. We're doing great. We're doing really good. The lighting in here has changed. So let's see, if I press M, we're going to go into our mine, and we can mine the mithril. We don't have to do any menuing. Probably we'll have a hard time mining this mithril. Stoneskin used to crash the game. I'm mostly confident that it won't crash. I am going to save the game first before I do it, though. Wait, oh yeah, I can't. What am I doing? I'm fighting a rock. All I can use is a pickaxe on it. So let's just smash it. There we go. We got some mithril ore. I'll press my equal sign and we auto-optimize our equipments again. Sweet, got a Crimson Twilight. Yeah. It's got a red tint to this map. I'm not going to mine anymore in here. I just wanted to show off some of the changes to it. I would like to get Aqua Shot 2. I think that's the next one.
I made something for you.
What is that? It's a mining orc?
It's the centaur. Or what
The Urex?
You're telling me about the huge orc on top of a little centaur body?
Oh, I see it. I see it. Centaur. Guys, I was laying down going to bed the other day, and I was talking to T. We usually talk because we're about to go to sleep, and I had this thought in my head of, I just started cracking up laughing because I saw an image in my head, and she's like, "What are you laughing at?" And I'm like, I couldn't even explain it because it was so vivid in my head. but I laughed enough to where it's like not hysterical to me anymore. But I saw an image. I guess it helped that I was tired and delirious. I saw an image of a huge fat ogre. It's like a centaur, but the top half is a huge ogre, and the bottom half is a centaur with like small legs. And it's not even standing; it's just flopped over. So T is making that right now.
I'm trying.
And so we were thinking of names for it. We're gonna call it the Cent-Ogre. Or the Ogre Tar.
Ogre Tar.
Ogre Tar. It's gonna be canon in one of the Natural Explorers. We're gonna put that in Natural Explorers. The Ogre Tar. It just has like Flounder, or it has moves that flop, flail. See, it'd be smart to upgrade your weapons, or at least somebody's weapon, to an obsidian weapon right here, because there's plenty of ore to get. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm running out of time. But, let's go ahead and use Lydia's Athelas Tonic, get us fully healed up. Let's spend some skill points. He doesn't have enough. But let's give Arturus HP, baby. Okay. Let's give Driftwood strength and speed, so he goes a lot. Let's give her I guess speed would make sense, all speed, because she uses items, and then speed is agility, and since we're using a CTB, higher agility means more turns. You'll never get more than 2 in a full round, but you can get 2 turns with just a few extra points in its speed, so over the thing you're fighting. So let's go ahead and save that. Let's fight the dragon, which was usually the last boss, and then there was like one cutscene and then a scrolling text, but now there's several cutscenes that takes you to another area and stuff happens, and I'll probably read the cutscenes after this because it's all new, nobody's seen it yet. So let's fight the dragon. If I win, I didn't do any leveling and I'm not wearing the gear that I should, but I'm using some tricks like getting water enchantments, and I bought a fire resist enchantment and didn't use it, so if I die I can try again with better odds. Let's try Stone Skin. I just saved it. We're gonna put Stone Skin on our healer. It's gonna give us a shield. Oh good, it didn't crash. I'm pretty sure I fixed that, and there was just a resource missing. So let's start off with a quick strike, get a little buff. Disintegrate. That felt nice. Aqua Shot 2, we just learned that just in time, so that's good. He'll be useful. Ooh, that crit though! That crit! Okay, let's do a Harass, which is going to make all of the magic attacks target Arturus. And I'm actually going to just mix Athelas Tonic to fully heal Olgun right now. And I will do this to give me some Bushido damage, Saigon. Disintegrate, boom. It went to Arturus, so he's got the D. He's got that magic D. We can Stone Skin him too, since we know he's going to be the target of all magic spells, unless they're AoE, which they can be. Let's use Double Blade just to look at it. Bang bang. Knight's Valor. He's got a ton of shield. He needs to throw a Provoke out there so that physical attacks also. Driftwood got stunned. He got headbutted by a dragon. Stone Skin is such a powerful move. So Arturus, hero of the game, doing all the damage now. Or, I mean, Olgun. Derp. Before, he was useless. Now he's doing most of the damage. Ooh, getting some mean crits. I guess it helps that I know like all of the stats and what everything's weak against and all of the best skills when they're stacked up. So it could be harder. I didn't want it to be super hard. Imagine if the player doesn't know what they're doing, really. They should still be able to get through the storyline. I want to have a lot of additional content. Like, the arena, it's got a lot to it. It's just not, like, the system is not set up completely yet, so you can't, like, access the stuff that's in the game yet. It's frustrating. And why I left it the way I did for so long, I don't know. It's because I get sick of the game and I'm like, I want to do something new and move on. I'm sure everyone can relate to that. But especially after the last fundraiser, I'm like, I need to update this free game and put out something that I'm more proud of and that people will like more. So yeah, he didn't do his powerful moves. He died too quick. But like I said, it's no longer the last boss, so it's fine. So this should be new to everyone here. I don't think I showed these cutscenes to anyone yet. We got some stuff. So if you try to leave now, it won't let you. So I've done some bug testing and trying to glitch it out and get out of... I've tried to break the changes that I've made, and I haven't found a way to break them yet, which is good. Because I fixed every way that I've been able to break it. Bruh, if I can make just one solid request, add in a sound bite from the knife party bonfire. Third eye, yeah. When you use the move third eye. I mean, is that copyright though? I don't know. So you get the elemental pistol, and the dialogue changes a little bit. Finally, after all the treasure hunting and going through tomes to track down this gun, I finally found it. Some of this was already in the end, but then it switches. You had to come all this way down here to risk our lives for a new gun? Relax, my friend. I told you this was an artifact that would help us, and it will. How's your shiny new toy going to help us? And don't say by shooting things in the face. This is not just an ordinary gun. It's a magical artifact that can reveal what the eyes cannot normally see. Let's see if there are any hidden secrets in this area. Boom. Shoots the gun up in the air. Excellent. There are some hidden runes right here. We can use these to be teleported to, well, I'm not sure where it'll take us. Oh, that's great. How useful. We get teleported even deeper into a cavern of fire. When we came through the pyramid, I'm pretty sure I saw inactive runes similar to these. This is most likely a shortcut out of this hot mess. Let's hope so. We need to get back to the Coral Castle and speak with Lord Mikhail. Now that you found the elemental pistol, you can use hidden teleport points to get around quicker. Walk in the center of the runes to activate them. Let's use this teleporter to get back to the castle quicker. I'd rather not backtrack through this hot hole of liquid death. I'm not sure we should be meddling with this arcane contraption. Maybe Sir Arturus is right. We should walk back. I could guide us out. I've been leaving a breadcrumb trail. I bet those breadcrumbs are nothing but toasty croutons by now. Besides, what could go wrong? ... See, I told you this would work. Is this supposed to happen? Maybe? This portal is unstable. We need to get away from the portal now. God, why didn't you listen to us, Olgwyn? Where are we? Well, we're definitely not in a pool of lava. It's so cold in here. This is great. We've jumped out of the frying pan and into the freezer. Reference. Who knows where that's from? Something tells me we're nowhere near the cave we teleported out of. This cave is freezing. We need to find some place to set up camp. Perhaps you should let me hold this elemental pistol, Olwyn, for safekeeping. Not gonna happen, Arturus. I've been searching for this relic for years now. Besides, I'm sure we're not far from the castle. I had to make a few custom assets and resources for this next cutscene. Arturus, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm not going to ask you again. You've already put us way off track, and I'm not going to let you take us through any more hidden portals until we finish our mission. Hey, what are you doing? Let go of my gun! So I made an animation for the gun flipping, and then I made a sprite for the sprite landing. And it took a while to get it timed so that it looked like a gun was flying like that. But I'm super happy with it. I kind of like it a lot. Tiana, I'll get it. So Tiana goes to pick up the gun, No, Tiana, you can't hold the elemental pistol like that. There's a specific... Giggity. There's a specific way to activate the gun in order to make it work. If you don't know what you're doing, you can alter the settings just by how you wield it. Tiana, you should give the gun back to Olgun. I'm only trying to help. Here you go. Olgun, what's happening? I don't know. Tiana must have activated the warp sequence. These animations, mostly custom. Tiana, drop the elemental pistol quickly. Tiana? Where'd they go? Olgun! I honestly have no idea, Arturus. That's specifically the reason I didn't want you to give you the elemental pistol. It's not a toy and requires specific tuning and handling to function it properly. Well, it didn't specifically function properly when you activated it either, Olgun. We didn't go where I thought we would, but at least I kept the party together. Always Tiana. Well, this time it's Lydia too. Both the healers are gone. You have no healers. Olgun, Arturus, now is not the time to bicker and argue about things that are in the past. Literally just happened. Let's figure out how to locate and rescue Tiana and Lydia. Driftwood's right. Let's figure out where we are. I'll have words with you later, Olgun. Let's get a fire going and try to get our bearings. And he walks away. And scene. And that's where the party picks up.
There it is. It's a masterpiece.
Oh my god. You gotta share. You gotta share. It's
a mighty centaur.
That's not exactly what I had in mind. It looks like an actual thing that could fight. I was thinking of something where it was 4 legs at the bottom.
There are 4 legs. This is hard to see.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to do. Like where they're like flopping on the ground. He's like standing up. But yeah. That's awesome still. Anyway, yeah, so I mean that's it where the storyline leads off. There's a couple other cutscenes, new NPCs, and some new maps. We'll run around a little bit, and I've got new enemies in here. So we lost our healers, and I think we can get a heal. Yeah, if you come here, the party gets restored, so that's your full heal for now. Lighting in this, there's still ore you can upgrade your gear. There's mithril here. I think I have adamantium on this map, obsidian and adamantium. Yeah, mithril is in that cave in case you're too low of a level and you don't want to smash on adamantium ore. But yeah, you can get adamantium ore here on this map. There are some random encounters, and there's a new NPC here who's a traveling salesman. This guy will be a recurrent type of salesman. He'll be around, and he sells you all kinds of stuff. Because you can't actually go back to the other continent yet and talk to the people who would normally sell you these things. So he's going to follow you around, basically, conveniently, you know, like in Secret of Mana, where the guy's always there. Every time you go to a new dungeon, he's like right there to sell you stuff. This will be the same type of thing. Traveling merchant will be there selling stuff. There's new items, new recipes and consumables, and new enemies. Oh yeah, the battle music changes in this area. And also the boss battle music changes from here on out. I'm still working on adding new enemies and stuff, and linking maps together. So the storyline kind of ends here and lets the party run around. I'm going to push an update, but it's still not done. So I keep wanting to get more towards the end. I'm going to do a little bit more so that you can have access to the Bard and get the healer in the party. And then I think I'll push the update. And then I'll update the website so that you can download the newest version. I'm actually going to take off the other version. So if you want to download the old version, you might want to do it now. Or if you already have, then you can just keep that. But as far as in comparison, the old version is a defaulted buggy mess, and I wouldn't want to play it. I would only want to play this new version where I've done so many rebalancing, retweaks, added new content, new cutscenes, fixed bugs, fixed crashes, stretched all the sprites, added new stuff. Just a ton of stuff in comparison. Even though the storyline has only progressed a few cutscenes and a few new maps. I still have to double check to see if Lydia's farming area is fixed. You can't get back there. So I mean, when you get to this area, you're stuck in this spot. and by this spot I mean you're on another continent. You're on like an Arctic continent. So there is a dungeon that's not designed yet. It's not fully designed yet. I'm going to pop a repel, a greater repel, so that I don't get encounters. But there are new enemies right here. I want to show you. This is a ice temple. You try to enter, and there's some force preventing us from entering the temple. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's the boss, dude. We're dead. This was a debug. I wasn't. There's new bosses. He's not supposed to be this strong, guys. I'm gonna tune him down. He's not gonna be this strong.
Goodbye, cool world.
I can't run, so I'm basically dead, and I don't think I saved it. Anyway, I have to end the live stream. Oh, 26 minutes ago. That's it. I've got some more updates to do. Thank you guys so much for coming to the live stream. It's been a few months since I've done a live stream. I plan to stream from 2 to 4, Monday through Friday, when I am able. I do have some doctor's appointments, and then baby has stuff. So there'll be some days when I'm not able to live stream, but I'll do my best, and I'll keep you guys up to date. Please join the Discord. Links in the description below. If you'd like to support what I do, I have a Patreon. You can subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitch. Yeah. And I think you have a subscribe button on Twitch now, too. So, all the stuff. Love you guys. Hopefully, you join me tomorrow, 2 to 4 Eastern Standard Time, where we work on the game some more, and we'll add the cutscenes. We'll do a lot more in the engine tomorrow, like actually adding stuff. I wanted to catch you guys up to date and go through the storyline, and there's plenty more of the game that I didn't get to. There's a couple more maps, and then there's a world map where you're back on the world map, but on the ice continent, and you can walk around. There's the igloo where I'm going to put the arena, and then there's a whole other town already made. I still need to add a few more NPCs, but there's a whole other town already made, and the quest line to get the bard in the party it has the first scene made. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for coming to the live stream. Thank you for joining me, babe.
It was a pleasure. Bye, guys. See you next time.
Thanks for helping with the baby. Letting me live stream.
She's a doll.
She is a doll. Alright, see you guys. Gonna end the live stream now. Bye-bye.
Bye.